Hi, this is Letty. I'm starting a series of videos on queries now. The first query that I want to make for you is using the students table. It's nice when we use a database that you understand really well. And if you recall, this database is the students and tutors. Each student is assigned to a tutor, and one tutor will work with many students. So one tutor, many students, one tutor. Okay, I encourage you to open up your database relationships view and just really have a good look at a database before you start using it. So I'm going to close that now and I will save that. And as I said, I'm going to create some queries for you. The first one that I'm going to create is to find out which of my students, well, actually just to find out the student's GPA. And that's a calculation because I'm keeping track of the students' credits and their quality points. And it is a simple bit of math to find out what their GPA is if I have those two pieces of information. So I'm going to add the student's SSN, first name and last name. I'm going to add their credits, quality points, and I'm going to put on financial aid, campus, and major also because I will copy this query and use it again. Okay, so now when I want to do a calculation on individual records, in other words, I want to know what each student's GPA is, not just for a group in this particular query. So I'm going to use the first available column. And the first thing I do is I type in the name that I want this query to adopt when it has a field of its own. So I'm going to type in GPA and colon. I could type in anything there. The colon tells Access that it's ready to receive the calculation. Now, whenever you refer to a field in your table as part of a calculation, you're going to surround it with square brackets. There are three kinds of brackets. There's parentheses that are rounded above the 9 and the 0 key on your keyboard. There are curly brackets that if you press the shift key and then brackets you'll find. And then the regular old square brackets are just to the right of the P on your keyboard. And those are the kind that I mean when I say square brackets. So quality points divided by credits is what will give me a GPA. So I'm referring to quality points. Now notice that I've surrounded it with square brackets, and let's see if I can widen this column so you can see better. I've surrounded it by square brackets and I've spelled it exactly the way it's spelled in the tables list. There's no space between quality and points, so I cannot put one in here. And then I'm going to say divided by. I can use the divide by symbol, and then credits. And because credits is a field, it needs to be surrounded by square brackets too. Well, I'm going to press enter and I'm going to run the query to see what happens. Now you can see here's my GPA column and it's working very nicely. The only thing that doesn't look good is that I've got too many decimal places. So I'm going to go back to design view and I'm going to toggle on my properties. It looks a little funny because my screen's scrunched down so I can show you the video, but here's the properties panel toggled on. I'm going to click on GPA again to make sure that I'm looking at the properties for this particular field. And I'm going to format the, you can see that I'm looking at the field properties and I'm at GPA. Okay, so I'm going to format this to be fixed at one decimal place. If you don't say fixed and you say 1, it just tells the computer I want at least one decimal place. But what was wrong with all those figures before is that they had too many decimal places. So I'm going to choose fixed at 1 and I'm going to run my query. And now I've got a GPA column that looks really good. And I can see Ronnie Adili has a 2. Whoops, I'll click away, a 2.6. Now you'll notice that when you click on a calculation and it's got tons of decimal places, it's going to show you all those decimal places until you click away from it, and that's why that looks like that. Okay, so that's a great way to get a calculation inside of a query using the fields in the table. I'm going to save this query as students with GPA, and I'm going to stop the video now and then I'll continue on for the next one.